What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dropping Wisdom with Santos podcast. And today I have a new guest. Please introduce yourself.
Bruno, good to see you, brother. Good to be on here. We've been trying to put this together for how long now?
I know, months, but hey, man, I understand you're busy. You're busy, so I appreciate you coming on. It's an honor to have you here, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Okay, so please tell us your story. I want to hear your story before we get into the sawmill.
Yeah, so Bruno Fallon, I grew up in South Florida. Was one of those kids that something I wish that was done today. I was playing football and thought I was going to go play college ball, and I got a little bit of trouble, and I had a judge give me a decision that I could go one place or I could go the other, and the other was the military, and I took it. So the military wasn't my choice growing up, but I went in when I was 17, and I was about a year and a half into the Rangers and realized this is the greatest thing in the world. And 30 years later, I got out of the military after a pretty good career, all in special operations, and then I did 10 more years as a government civilian. So 40 years total Department of Defense. And then after that, went to work with Born Primitive for a little over 3 years and started up their whole tactical clothing line. And now I'm at the Sawmill Training Center down in Lawrence, South Carolina. It's obviously a remote position for me, living here in Virginia Beach, but it's literally probably the best range in the Southeast United States in terms of being able to host major large events. Like we have a national SWAT competition at the end of the month. So it's, I guess the truth is I haven't decided what I want to be when I grow up, man.
Hey, that's the best thing. You keep having fun that way.
That's right.
What year did you join boot camp?
Went in 81.
81. Okay, my dad went to Army boot camp in 83. And my mom went to Army boot camp in 85. My mom did the EFMB, if you know what that is.
I do.
You do? Okay.
I do.
Were you ever stationed in Fort Bragg?
Absolutely. So a number of years in Special Forces. So if you're a guy that's worn a Green Beret, whether you were assigned there or not, you go through the schoolhouse for many courses and stuff there. But no, I lived in Fayetteville and Fort Bragg for quite a few years. And then even when I started flying special ops helicopters, I was going back repeatedly to support units there.
We were stationed there for a while. I went to Lodi Almond Elementary School and 71st High School.
Nice.
That's where I went. And yeah, they did EFMB there. And then were you ever stationed in Fort Lewis, Washington?
No.
No? That place was awesome. Yeah. We were stationed there. I loved that place. That place was beautiful. The terrain, every morning we see Mount Rainier. Oh, it's the best, man. Were you ever stationed in Germany?
Nope. So it's one of the big things about special operations, especially the units that I was in. I was most of my assignments were CONUS. My only overseas assignments that I ever had was I had one considered a short tour in the Philippines. We were down there looking for some American hostages, but we were there for a long time. And then I did one in Panama that was about 2 years unaccompanied, and it was kind of interesting down there. But no, everything else was CONUS based, but I probably should have bought property in Afghanistan and Iraq, how much time I spent there.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we were stationed in Germany. My mom, because she always worked at the hospitals, we were stationed in Würzburg, Germany. And believe it or not, at one time, I was pretty fluent in German. But now I'm not. Not even fluent in English.
Languages, so a couple things on that. People that grow up out of the United States all have multiple languages. I was just talking to a lady that's from Finland, and she speaks Norwegian, Finn, English, and a little bit of Spanish. And we all struggle with a second language, so it's just a different cultural thing. But there's no question that if you can speak, especially one of the Romance languages, Spanish, French, something like that, you can travel global. But as you travel global, it's pretty interesting to see that if you speak English, you can pretty much survive in any country right now. There seems to be a really good cross.
Yeah.
So
in the Army, my father was he knew like 5 languages because he grew up in Uruguay, so he was Spanish, Italian, English, French, and Galician, which was a northern Spanish language. And so he was an interrogator, and he used to Fort Huachuca,
Arizona.
Yeah, he used to go there a lot. So basically, long story short, I basically couldn't lie. I was I quit that.
No, he knew. And I'll tell you, it's funny you say that. years back, went through a couple of courses. One of them was an advanced interrogator course. And I never served in the role as an interrogator, but I was using those skills to learn how to read body language. And when you would go and work with partner forces, you could always figure out who was really on your side and who wasn't, just by their mannerisms, their body language, their eye movement, everything. So yeah, it's amazing how the skills cross over.
Yeah, because like when you're in different countries, like I told people, I might not know the language, but if I have a problem, someone's going to know by my body language that there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Easily, without knowing the language.
Yeah.
But now everyone now has Google's Translate. You speak in there and give it to them. Oh, yeah. You know, very easily. But it's always good to know the language and know the culture, know the foods. Because from what I witnessed through my times, the people in different countries, if they are aware that you're trying to learn their culture and know their foods,
Open arms.
yeah.
Open arms.
It's the ones they don't like is that they think they're too good. They don't go out. They're above you. They're too good for you. You know.
You're so spot on there. You can have two different experiences by doing that. The country I always use for different experience is France. You can go there with your wife, your girlfriend, somebody else's girlfriend, whatever. But you can go there, and if you attempt to speak and learn their culture, you will be treated like royalty. If you go there and just be I'm only speaking English, bring me this, and be what I call the ugly American, you will have the worst experience in your life. I love going there. But again, you've got to do the cross-cultural thing and try and adapt. It's also a survival skill. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things too where bad things happen to bad people, right? So if you're over there and you're being the clear, obvious person that should be the victim, you're going to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's get into this now. I'm on the Sawmill website, sawmillttc.com. Okay, their website's badass too.
It is badass.
That's a badass website. Okay, Bruno Fallon, Chief Marketing Officer and Director of Special Events. Bruno has 40 plus years combined active duty and government civilian service in the U.S. military special operations community. His service in the Army included Rangers, Special Forces, 60th Sword Night Stalkers, and a tour with the Navy's Tier 1 Special Mission Unit. Post-active duty, he remained with the Navy Special Mission Unit and was the Urban Training Director for a decade, where he established a very close bond with law enforcement and throughout the country. Bruno has a passion for human performance, shooting, team building, and he's a team building coach and a mentor.
That's correct.
That's badass. And this is a really cool website. Now, Sawmill is in South Carolina.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with South Carolina, it's in the middle of the state. Greenville, Spartanburg, and Columbia are the two big cities. We're a little over an hour west of Columbia, and we're about 35, 40 minutes south of Greenville, Spartanburg. To have a range of this expanse that we have, the hundreds of acres with everything we can do, you've got to be in a little bit of an isolated area. So the example I'll give you is if you're coming to stay there, we have on-site lodging. We can house people, we can house teams, we can do events, retreats, and all that kind of stuff. But it's a range that if you've been there and you haven't been there in the last 6 months, you haven't been there. The ownership in there decided, I use the term shit or get off the pot. Like, either we're going to make this a facility people want to come to, or we're going to make it somewhere that if you went 5 years ago, it's the same place. And that's, that's the problem with the range down in Moyock. If you went there 10 years ago, it's the same place. A lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of new people were brought in. And the staff we have down there is phenomenal. Our lead shooter down there is a guy named Dutch Moyer. Dutch and I have known each other forever. I've known Dutch since the late 90s. He's a former Tier 1 operator with the Army. So he's on site there. He's there every day. And we've just got a really solid crew of people. But it's one of those places where every time I show up, since I've been brought on down there, if I have a good idea, it doesn't go to a whiteboard. It goes to an action plan. And I love that.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go on, since I'm still on the website, I'm going to read down everything about this place, because this place looks awesome.
It is.
Now, another question. This is over 250 acres.
It's over 250, and it's actually more than that because we have adjoining properties that we have licensing with. It's 250 of usable acres of ranges. So,
okay. Now, this question, because I'm looking at the website here and I'm looking how big this place is and what you guys have to offer. And I'm always thinking, like, has a movie studio ever reached out to do certain scenes on this?
Not yet.
Because it looks like it could be.
Well, and that's the reason I was brought in. It's a piece of gold sitting there that was never marketed, and people didn't know about it. So the reason they brought me in was my network, my knowledge. They have the on-site knowledge to make the range what it needs to be. I'm adding my touches, but what they don't have is the ability for people to know about it. So that's why I came in. I'm doing special events and things like that. And to be honest with you, every single agency that we've brought in there has been like, hell yeah. And we're not going to stop. So movie studios, whatever, it depends on what the look you're looking for is. That's one thing about movies. They can write a big check so they can go to a city too. So
Yeah.
what are you looking for?
Yeah.
You know?
So what type of people come and agencies come to this place and train, like SWAT teams or what?
So we have people that are members. So you could be someone that lives 100 miles away, 5 miles away, and you can buy a membership. You can just come and shoot on the ranges whenever you want. You're a range member. But what we cater to is we cater to events and training. So I'll give you some of the examples of things we have coming up. We just did a Bullets and Bourbon, where people come in and it's a team building event where people are doing a lot of shooting and getting coached on shooting at a very high level. And then when it's over, everybody's sitting around and drinking bourbon around the fire and having cigars and bonding that way. And you know how it is. It's bonding away from work, away from the grind is what furthers that bond. We'll bring SWAT teams in that can come in and train. They can stay on site. We'll bring competitive shooting events in. The Patriot Games will be there the first weekend in August. That is all tactical athletes that are coming to come in and grind. We actually now have a huge archery setup out there where it's pretty intense. We have all these lanes. Every type of 3D target you could think about is set in shooting lanes at distances where you can go on a stalk and a walk, and all of a sudden, you're in South Carolina and there's a 3D elk down the road, and then it goes to a hog. But one of the projects we're working on right now is a 360 range. And what is that good for? For you and I could teach your wife, your girlfriend, I could teach you how to respond to something from your vehicle. For law enforcement, they can practice vehicle stops. Having the ability to shoot 360 degrees with some static vehicles, some static targets, and a driving lane in there is just something that doesn't exist in a lot of places. We've got a 1,400 yard known distance range. I'm here to tell you that if you're not trained in shooting 1,400 yards, it's going to outshoot anybody's ability. So we can bring people in there and train them on their bolt guns, on their gas guns, and things like that to shoot to ranges that the weapon is capable of that they probably aren't. The example I'll give you is the tactical games, Patriot Games, all the tactical athletes, farthest they shoot 600 yards. We're out to 1,400 yards. So if you're getting ready to go to Montana and you need to dial some guns in, we can, for a long range hunt, we have every capacity there you can think of. We have shoot houses, we have steel ranges, we have facades, static vehicles. If you came to me and said, hey, I need to get ready for this event or this type of training, we can reconfigure a range for it.
Okay, on the website, I'm gonna read down everything it offers, and then you add in any more wisdom that whatever you want. Okay.
You got it.
Okay, the classroom. It's a climate-controlled classroom. Features internet, 2 monitors with wireless casting, overhead video projector, 3 large whiteboards, seating and tables for up to 40 people, kitchen in close proximity, restrooms, ample electrical access for recharging devices. That's a pretty big spot. Wow. And then live fire shooting ranges. The Sawmill is currently home to 5 ranges for 25 to 100 yards, a 400-yard unknown distance range, a 360-degree range, a 100-yard zero range, and a 1,400-yard sniper range. Each range can be configured specifically for your training needs with several target types, obstacles, barriers, and vehicles. We maintain our ranges to be the pinnacle in safety as well as performance. This place is huge, man. This is force on force training. Simulate virtually any scenario in our force on force training area. This village can be configured to immerse trainees in expansive training scenarios that feel more lifelike. From first responders to military, this area is versatile and can be outfitted with structures, obstacles that bring a level of realism into your training. A 30-foot tower observation tower overlooks the complex. This is honestly, I know you don't play these video games, but this is this kind of stuff that you see on Call of Duty, these obstacles. This is just crazy. 1,400 yard precision rifle range, like you mentioned. Our long gun range is unique among East Coast facilities and offers known distance steel silhouette targets every 200 yards while providing complex challenges due to thermals and winds. The long range platform can support 10 shooters at a time, covered with benches, tables, and mats. And this is what's crazy too. You guys have a helicopter landing zone. The Sawmill has 2 landing zones certified, an MH-53 and a CH-47 capable. The complex also is authorized to perform helo-based operations and training. Okay, so a 360-degree range, take tactical training to the next level. The 360 range allows shooters to fire in every direction while being in a safe environment. A 50-yard diameter area is fortified with berms and outfitted with obstacles and targets that simulate real-life situations like urban combat and ambushes. Versatile terrain. Our South Carolina location offers a temperate climate with all 4 seasons. The vegetation and elevation of the Sawmill complex is varied. Pine forest, wide open grasslands, steep rocky hills, lowlands with a river, multiple ponds, and thick vegetation are among the many features of this picturesque property. Off-road vehicle training and search and rescue training are among many of the training exercises these grounds were developed for. Roughing it out is not an option here. We offer accommodations to bring your world to ours. The Sawmill Lodge. No, not your average lodge. These rooms are designed for combat and privacy, or for comfort and privacy. Sleeps up to 44 comfortably. There are 12 bedrooms total, each with private bath and shower. Features twin-size beds, a full bathroom with a shower in each room, Wi-Fi, game room, full kitchen, full gym. In the kitchen, the lodge kitchen is outfitted with the following: 2 full-size refrigerators with ice makers, stove and cooktop, microwave, cabinet with cookware and tableware, ample counter space for food prep on small and large scales, and coffee makers, Cafe Pastello only coffee. They have a pro shop. The pro shop offers up favorite brands and features products ranging from tools, optics, ammo, ear pro, eye pro, first form drinks and bars, first aid kits, swag. You got small little swag and more. And then you have a place to store everyone's ammo and weapons. The Sawmill offers secure storage for all visitors' equipment. Our facility is outfitted with vaults for storing weapons, ammunition, and gear your team brings. Our storage areas keep these items organized and ready for quick development. Safety is our highest concern, and all storage needs are treated with the utmost care. A container superstructure. Close quarter and vertical operations can be conducted at the Sawmill container superstructure, which has been fabricated to create multi-level environments that can be outfitted for a more customized experience. Some noteworthy features of the container superstructure: helicopter skid simulation area, a 24 by 24 by 25 shaft for confined rescue training ops, rappel and climbing capable, pitched roof section to simulate rooftop combat or rescue operations, windows and various breaching obstacles. This is at the website sawmillttc.com, and their Instagram is the sawmilltc is their Instagram. That place sounds bananas, man. Sounds like a great time too.
So let me amplify a couple things.
Yes.
So first of all, it doesn't mention our obstacle course. We have 2 complete ranges that are nothing but obstacle course. And I'm talking everything from walls to rope climbs to you name it, it's all there. Very high end, all recently redone. Why is that important? The tactical athletes want it. Law enforcement wants it. One of the biggest things we do with both law enforcement and tactical athletes is, versus just going to a flat range and shooting, is we create a stress environment to put them in the adrenaline mode and get them ready like they realistically would be. What better way to do that than fitness? So we have the O course. You talked about our bunkhouse and our lodging. It's first rate. Like in the upstairs kitchen area, we also do like seminars in there while people are eating and things like that. It is very, very well done. Our gym's not just a gym. Our gym is a complete Sorenex fitness facility done by, Bert Soren's crew and Sorenex. Like if you come there and you want to train hard, we've got it all there. Some of the other things just to expand on is the property. I could give you an example. If you want to do a 5-mile run or hike before you shoot, we've got the property. We're not a range that's surrounded by suburbia. So there's a lot of really good opportunity there. I'm trying to think of what else we talked about. That our pro shop. Our pro shop, we're authorized Sons of Liberty Gunworks dealers, Huxworth suppressors, FN, Almar knives. We have so many prominent brands, cases and everything that if you come there, like for example, since we've become a Huxworth suppressor dealer, which is the best suppressor out there, the amount of people coming in and buying cans right now through us is crazy, that we've actually now have to have a full-time staff presence in the pro shop. Where in the past, we would have the pro shop open during events. Now the pro shop's open when the range is open.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's great.
It means you have a good how do I say, a good item for sale, basically. If people are going there for that item, you got to keep that in stock. Who makes it?
Makes
the
suppressor?
Yeah.
It's Huxworth Safety Company. They're also the title sponsor of the National SWAT competition we're doing at the end of the month. Not to really go into deep diving it, but the one thing that makes their suppressors different, everybody focuses so much on decibels, and size. Let's make the suppressor small, let's make it quiet. Huxworth is the leader in technology, and what they're doing is they focus on 3 things really. Size and weight's always included, but their number one thing is the ballistic efficiency of the gun. What's nice about a Huxworth suppressor is that if you're buying a can and you go out and you spend money on Supervel match ammo, you put that can on, it doesn't drastically change the performance of the ammunition, where other suppressors do significantly because they don't even build that into the design. They just consider baffles and decibels. So a Huxworth suppressor is designed for bullet efficiency. After that, it's designed for operator safety. This is huge. They have what's called flow-through technology. So all the gases go away from you instead of come back at you. And if you think about everything you're breathing in, every time you fire, lead, etc., going through the bore, you're breathing that in. Well, with Huxworth, it's going away from you. So now you have bullet performance, you have safety, and then you go to the decibels and the lightness. So, I'll say that it's the only can that I shoot. It's the only thing I have on all my guns. It is by far the gold standard.
And just for a little side wisdom, when you guys buy these extra attachments for your firearm, such as a suppressor or whatever, put that in a trust.
Absolutely.
Put it in a trust.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, government could take that.
That's right.
Keep it in the family.
That's right. It's still considered an NFA item. A lot of people are misunderstanding right now. So the $200 federal tax stamp went away. But all the legal requirements are still there. All the paperwork, all the transitioning. So if you have a short barrel rifle, which, anything below 16 inches, if you have an automatic firearm, automatic weapon, if you have a suppressor, you need to have it in a trust. I'd have everything in a trust, but you need to have those 3 for sure in a trust because you're the sole owner. So if it's not in a trust and you pass away, that is now the government's property.
Yep.
So
remember, you and I talked about that one time.
Did.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah. Okay. What else is there with the Sawmill TC? Now, what date is that special event later on this month?
So the SWAT competition, the Huxworth National SWAT competition is 30 and 31 July. And then the Patriot Games, which is a tactical athlete competition, is 1 and 2 August. So it's a Thursday, Friday for the SWAT, Saturday, Sunday for the Patriot Games, and it's open to the public. So the reason it's cool is, number one, you can see the facility. Number two, you can see some of our best SWAT teams in the country competing. And then the Patriot Games, if you've ever thought about being a tactical athlete, what I tell everybody is you need to go watch a competition. Because the best example I can give you is I know a lot of people that are CrossFitters and a lot of people that are shooters, but they never put the two together. And if you're not training specifically for these events that way, you'll be drastically surprised on game day.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly.
Oh, yeah.
Sheesh. And what is your part in all this?
So for the National SWAT competition, I'm the overall director of it and the head judge. So when it comes down to it, I'm controlling the judging team, controlling the event, and the director of the actual event.
You're not the one that we talked about earlier. You're not going to be running up and running everywhere with
That'll be when I get to the Patriot Games.
Okay.
But no, so for the Patriot Games, they use different titles, but essentially I am a head judge, but they call it a battle boss there. So there's 7 stages. I'll have 3 of them, and I'll have a team below me, and I'll be responsible for the safe execution and the on-standard grading criteria of that stage. And those, I tell you what, the Patriot Games, it's really cool. It's a culture of a family. It's hard to explain until you go. There are some people that go to every single one of their competitions. They treat each other like family. They cheer for each other. It's not a rivalry thing. They're pushing each other. And at the end of the day, when you're doing fitness and shooting together, it's a really fun day.
And most of these people that are there, what are they? What are they? Law enforcement?
It is such a mix.
Like private security?
We have housewives.
Oh, wow.
We have housewives. We have people in law enforcement. We have military that are off duty. We have business owners. We have, it's such a full spectrum. It's literally people that enjoy shooting and fitness and deciding, I'm going to go do this. Because what they do is they set up different, so for example, the event that we're going to have, there will be different classes that you can enter. So you can enter and be a men's intermediate or a men's elite. You could be a ladies intermediate, a ladies elite, or you could be a novice, saying you've never done it. And the execution of the event, the standards change based on the category. We also have masters over 40, masters over 50. And then you can also register for, they call them the hero divisions. So if you're a first responder or law enforcement, there's a division for that. If you're military or military retired, there's a division for that. So you could actually go, a guy like me could go and enter, and I could enter, they don't have it over 60 yet, and as the sport grows, it will. But I could enter masters over 50, and I could enter the hero division military, pay both entry fees, and compete in both. And then what you have to do is essentially the higher standard of the two is the standard you're held to. So let's say that the military division, you have to lift the 80-pound bag, but the master's 50, a 50-pound bag. You're going to be doing the 80-pound bag to compete, but you're still competing against the 50-year-olds doing the less weight because you did 2 divisions, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
And you'd be surprised. One of the most competitive divisions is the men's 40. I'm talking guys that come in and get after it. The other thing I'll tell you is the ladies that show up there.
They look hardcore.
They are athletes.
Yeah.
Even and this is something from the military. This is a whole different topic, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Okay, you can't look at somebody and go, oh, they're overweight. You'd be amazed at what somebody that can carry their weight well and can shoot really well can make up ground on somebody that's just a super phenomenal athlete and doesn't shoot well. So I always tell people, if you're a really baller CrossFitter and you can't shoot, you're not going to win. If you're a really good shooter and you're in shape, you stand a much better chance of winning. Now, if you're both, stand by. And those are the elite athletes. The men's and the women's elite athletes that come in, that's what they do. There's another division out there called the Tactical Games. It's a much bigger than the Patriot Games. It's international. And the people that compete in the elite division, that's their job. They train for that year round. That's what they do. One of my close friends, a guy named Kurt Fennell, he's an athlete he's a special forces guy, but his entire life is devoted to competing as a tactical athlete. That's what he does with his spare time. And the guy, when he shows up, you can see it in his eyes. The only two times he looks like this, he's on a target overseas or he's competing in a Patriot or tactical games. He's switched on.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
That's right.
Because sometimes it might be kind of hard to turn that off coming back. So that's good he knows how to turn it on and off, right?
Absolutely.
Sheesh. That's badass, man. I wish that place was closer.
So it's not that far. I mean, in all honesty, so I live in Virginia Beach, and I'm down there a week to 10 days out of the month. It's a 7-hour drive for me. It's a quick drive, right out 58 down to, 85, and I'm there.
So you take 58 to 85, not 95.
Yeah.
So you drive, what is that, driving through, you're not driving through Charlotte. You just, are you?
You do drive through
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
You do? Okay.
You're in the outs. Yes, you absolutely drive through the outskirts of Charlotte.
Okay.
That's the only traffic you see the whole way there.
Yeah. 58's.
58's, yeah. Just watch.
Emporia.
Watch that stealing it, buddy.
Those fuckers. They got me once.
They get everybody.
Yeah.
They get everybody. And it's kind of funny, too, because you're on the highway and you're doing freaking 85 miles an hour and you go through Emporia, and now it's 60, thank God. I remember when it was 50.
Yeah.
But you're doing 65 and you're having people blow by you and you're like, oh, you don't know, do you?
Yeah, but he's going to get it. He's going to get it. Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm thinking about, since you're starting this, getting in there, and you're talking about the movie studios, and I'm thinking about other things. Like, I'm thinking like certain individuals that are like maybe having a bachelor party, but not going to the strip clubs. They want to do something different. Hey, man, let's go to the Sawmill training club, like 2 or 3 days. Do that and then have the cookout and everything afterwards. That'll be something kind of cool to have there too.
We do retreats like this all the time. And matter of fact, I'm getting ready to announce another one. I did a piece. This was about 3 weeks ago. I was going down there to do some planning for the tactical games, and there were a couple of women that wanted training. So they came in a day I was there, and I put them through tactical athlete training. We were in the Sorinex gym and we were on the range, combining both. And we had our social media guy do some content on it. Well, that content blew up. So now we're going to start doing it probably quarterly. We're starting out semi-annually, tactical athlete retreats. And it's for people that have never done a tactical games or Patriot games, or people that want to improve their skills. Come stay in the lodge, and the entire weekend is going to be centered around those skills. And it's team building, and it's bonding, and it's making them better.
And who brings the firearms? They've had to bring their firearms, but would you provide that?
So we have both options.
Okay.
We have both options. We have loaners. And we always encourage people. I call it train as you fight. If you're going to get into the sport and you have your guns already, or you're already in the sport, you want to bring them at your shooting. Because we want you to get better on what you're going to compete with. If you don't, we'll give you loaners. And the example I'll give you is of those two ladies, I ended up letting both of them shoot my primary pistol, and they're both going out shopping right now because they realized the difference that a competition level handgun can make in your shooting. There's everything we do out there. So you mentioned the bachelor party. You could own a company. You could be a company here in Virginia Beach, and you're like, I want to do a retreat. I want to take my top 10, my top 20, my top 30 people, or I want to take my family, and I want to go somewhere and do something cool. You can come to the Sawmill. We'll put you in the lodge. We can set up everything. We can have catering brought in, instruction brought in, so you can be doing a fitness, shooting, barbecue, team building event. And to be honest with you, there's something about when you combine that with some guest speaking. Like, I'll go down there and I'll do some mindset lectures, I'll do some team building lectures, some ethos lectures, and then you take them out in the range and you work them. And the big thing is just so everybody gets the right idea. On stuff like this, they're not going to boot camp unless they ask for that. What we're doing is we're making them become safe and competent with firearms in a way that it's enjoyable. And you'd be surprised that they're trained by the right people and they're not just on a flat range. And all of a sudden, best example I'll give you is we'll put people in one of our Humvees or some of our ATVs, and we have a road that parallels our known distance range, and we do an off-road shooting event where people are shooting from a moving vehicle. And oh my God, if you just watch their face when they're shooting a really decked out AR platform into steel targets from a moving vehicle, they've never done it before.
Are they allowed to shoot from the? Can you people go in the helicopter and shoot?
Yeah, we can, but you're going to pay for the helicopter.
Oh yeah, that ain't gonna be cheap. Yeah.
It's not cheap. We literally have to pay to fly the helicopter in and fly it back, and the time it's there. It's not a cheap event.
Yeah.
But we do it all the time. We have events where corporate retreat or something like that, where they're like, "Hey, I want the full Monty package," and that full Monty package will be a helicopter, filet mignons. We'll bring in some very big. I will physically be down there to speak. I'll bring in some other people too. It's.
I can be a host for the podcast.
There you go.
That sounds awesome, man.
It is awesome, and it's one of those where, you want to look to do something different with your family, your business. It's a cool place to come do it, and the goal is that you can stay on site. That's where the team building begins. Okay, we're no longer on the range, we're no longer working out, we're no longer in a lecture, but now we're sitting around a bonfire, we're having cigars, we're having steaks, we're having bourbon, we're freaking having wine, whatever the flavor is you want, and people are having their close conversations, and it's just a really good time.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we move on?
No, man.
Okay, let's get to know Bruno a little better now. I got some questions.
All right.
Okay. Real Slick Fishing, the charter boat. You went on them a few weeks ago?
Yes.
And they're out of, where are they out of? Chicks or Lynnhaven? Lynnhaven, where are they out of?
No, he's right over out of Rudy.
Out of Rudy? Yeah. Okay. What did you catch there?
So I caught my first, I've done a lot of fishing in my life, and not at the level those guys are, of course. Caught my first ever white marlin, and we caught a bunch of yellowfin tuna.
Wow! And so when you guys came back, who skins it and everything? Do they do it right there on the dock?
Right there on the dock.
That's awesome, man.
Right
That's awesome. Why'd they throw you off?
So it's my first. So it's a tradition. The first time you ever catch a big game fish like that,
which was the marlin?
Was the white marlin. So I've caught sailfish and I've caught a blue marlin. I've never caught a white marlin. And in talking to a bunch of my buddies, a bunch of them that live in Florida never have either. It's not a common fish, right?
Huh.
And it was a good sized fish. But the lore is that if you catch the first time one of those type fish and the crew doesn't throw you off the boat, you will never catch that fish again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't want that jinx.
So that's why I was so willing.
Yeah. No doubt, man. So Real Slick Fishing is out of Rudy Inlet. And who's the owner? Jake?
Jake's the owner.
And so overall, what has been your favorite catch overall in your whole life? Your favorite catch?
It was a big sale. It was a big sale. I mean, I've caught shark and all kinds of stuff, but no, it was a big sailfish. I actually went out off of Lighthouse Point in Florida. A buddy of mine captains a boat there, and the owner there is a really, really super cool guy. This crew that I went out with, these guys were, just to give you, these guys have been fishing their whole life. And I want to say, there's obviously a captain, but I want to say of the 3 or 4 guys we had helping, I want to say all of them were captains. And this was just a really, and the name of the boat, by the way, was a Flight Plan.
Flight Plan.
The Flight Plan. He obviously owns an airplane as well, too. But they all said to me, the point of me telling you their experience, they said we had a 1 in 20 years day. There was 4 of us that went out, all 4 very, very senior military guys, and they were taking us out to as a give back to us. Every one of us caught 2 sail.
What?
And we had a couple that caught 3 and 4. It was a day when so they put flags up on the mast when you catch one, and when you're coming back in, people can look at the big boats, and I want to say this one was like a 70-some footer. People can look and see, they caught 3, they caught 4. Between our 4 and the crew, I think we had 14 flags flying. and the jaws that were dropping when we were coming back in. Now, no, those are game fish. I think, and I don't remember exactly. So we caught a couple tuna and stuff too. We kept the tuna. I want to say we kept one sail and put them all back in the water so the next guys could catch them. But the reason we kept the
unfortunate for that one sail.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Well, and the thing about it was the conversation was we were going to put them all back, but the other 3 guys with me had never had that South Florida fish dip. So literally, when we were pierside, some of the guys made it right then and there, and we were eating fresh fish dip right there. And
Wow.
Incredible.
That's great. I would love to go again. My favorite catch was in the Bahamas. I caught a barracuda. And we thought it was a shark. And that shit was crazy because when it came on board, it was flopping and everything. And I had to get a fillet knife to cut his jaw out to get the hook out. You know what I'm saying? But that particular barracuda, I wasn't allowed. We couldn't eat it because it was the quickest way to know what's a toxic fish or not is you put it down and see where the flies land. If the fly doesn't land on it, don't eat that fish. That's what I was told. I couldn't even eat the fish I caught, but that was still the best fish I ever caught. That was bananas, man. I would really like to go again, but I have a torn bicep, so I don't think I would have the stamina to reel it in. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, if you're reeling in a sail or a marlin, you're working.
Yeah.
That one I just got on Real Slick, when that line started running, you gotta let it run. You can't override that. And then as soon as it stops running, you're reeling as hard as you can. It runs again, reeling, runs again.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you saw the video. I was working that fish for, and you know me and my fitness. That's what I do. And by the time we got that fish up to the boat, I was smoked.
I could imagine, man. That was crazy. Okay, now I also see you like cigars and whiskey. So it's Hooten Young. Hooten Young. Do you know him?
I know him well.
Okay, and what are you a member? So do you get cigars and whiskey monthly?
So I don't. A good buddy of mine, Sean, is a member, but let me caveat that with I do a lot with them. So I do get cigars and whiskey. I'm just not in the club. And now that I'm seeing some of the special cigars that come only to club members, because Sean was showing me stuff I'd never smoked, I'm going to become a club member. I do enjoy a good cigar.
Yeah. And Hooten Young, now I do research and everything. When I was reading, from what I understand, was he boots on ground at some time during Black Hawk Down incident?
If you watch the movie, there's a character in what they call Hook. And Norm will tell you. Matter of fact, I had Norm on my podcast 2 or 3 times. But Norm will tell you. The way he's portrayed that movie, and don't get me wrong, freaking Norm is a Viking. Norm is a legend. But the way he's portrayed in that movie is kind of a roll-up of 2 to 3 people. Because it's Hollywood. They want to make a movie, right? But yeah, he was, so Norm was a Tier 1 Army Special Operator. And then during the Battle of Mogadishu, a TF Ranger in 1993 in Somalia. And let's just say that anybody that doesn't know the history, it was not a great day for American forces. And Norm was one of the guys that when the chips were down, was able to kind of, change the tides on a few things so everybody could get out of there. You find that in battle. All the way, if you just study battle, I read something one time, to not go off on a tangent, but first time people in combat, about 30% of people are firing their weapons and about 70% of people freeze up.
That's what I read. I read about that.
It's studied. It's known. And that's why, there's all these folks that have done all this training and have never been in combat. They're operating in theory. They have no clue because they haven't done it. But it's one of those things where Norm is that guy. So Norm got out, and then Norm had a really interesting career. He got out after serving a full career in the military special operations community, and he became a pharmacist for the VA.
Wow!
Yes. And he did that for a number of years, and then semi-retired, did a couple other things out there in the world, but was approached about being involved in a bourbon and whiskey company, and they got involved in it. And in the last year, new leadership, they brought in a new leadership team and stuff, and it is taking off. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, I'm a bourbon guy. You know that. His 12-year is superb. That his rye is superb too. I love them both.
Now, where's it out of? I'm just trying to see where the soil of the cigar is from. The tobacco, you know what I mean?
Tobacco is Nicaraguan.
Oh, okay. When I was in the Bahamas, my favorite cigar was probably a Great Cliff. They had Great Cliff cigars down there.
Yep.
I took a class. I learned how to roll a cigar.
There you go.
I don't remember how to do it now. It's a little harder than people think. It's not like rolling a blunt or anything. It's a technique to rolling a cigar.
There is.
You know, and but Great Cliff cigars in the Bahamas. I went to that. I was close to staying from that Great Cliff, like it was a hotel,
Right.
old hotel. That was my favorite cigar. Living down there, I like the Great Cliff cigar a lot. I haven't smoked a cigar in a while.
So I'll give you another brand, and he's a very close buddy of mine. And he's the guy to talk to when you talk cigars. Padilla Cigars, Ernesto Padilla. It's a family brand. Really cool story. His dad used to hang out with Ernest Hemingway. And, yeah, down in the days of Cuba and all that kind of stuff. Castro actually locked his dad up. He was a poet and did not like that he was, anti-communist. And through time and process, Ronald Reagan, the president, actually got him released from prison, and they emigrated to the States. So Ernesto, got the cigar company. They're all Nicaraguan tobacco as well. He's got some Dominican. He's actually got some Connecticut tobacco that he does in his Miami and stuff like that. But he'll tell you, the running joke is when people come up to you and be like, they know I'm a cigar smoker, be like, yeah, I got Cubans. Well, right now there's only about 4 Cuban brands we're smoking, because the rest of them, the soil has been turned so much that compared to Nicaraguan tobacco, even Dominican tobacco, it's not anywhere as good. So most of your good cigars right now are Nicaraguan tobacco, and both Padilla and Hoot and Young are.
Yeah, because when I was in the Caribbean during my time in the Coast Guard on those boats, I wasn't a fan of Cuban cigars. I really liked Dominican Republic cigars too. Dominican Republic cigars are pretty good too. But I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the Cuban. It wasn't my flavor.
There's a couple that are good.
Yeah.
There's a couple that are good, but I'll tell you, I got to a point now where people give me cigars, and in most cases, unless we're like smoking them right then and there, in most cases I end up giving them away because I'm pretty loyal to Hoot and Young and Padilla.
Do you dip it?
No.
No, like I know certain people dip it in what, a cognac or whiskey?
Cognac and stuff like that. I mean, you can. No, matter of fact, I'm pretty religious about which ones I even like. It's funny. I know a lot of people like the milder cigar, the Connecticut's and stuff like that, and it's pretty funny. I call those a breakfast cigar. But I'm pretty choosy about who I smoke.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now talk about BioProtect. How'd you get linked up with them?
That was interesting. So I'm going to be in about a month, 61 years old. Everybody knows, anybody that follows me on social media knows I'm an athlete, knows I've been an athlete my whole life. And I am always, probably my hobby, if you will, my reading and everything is on human performance. The biggest thing I'll tell everybody is that 90% of nutritional supplements that are on the market today are garbage. It's not FDA inspected. What's on the labels, not always what's in the bottle. So how do you get past all that? You go through third-party testing, you buy from brands that are really good, Thorne, Nutricost, stuff like that, where it's all third-party tested, independently tested, and it's mixed properly, it's actually the ingredients are what they are. So I've always been interested in human performance, and people will tell you that once you get up to my age, to maintain the level of athleticism that I do, you need to start looking at human growth hormone and things like that. Well, there's a couple ups and downs on that. Number one, to get real human growth hormone is very expensive. Number two, to get real human growth hormone from a prescription is extremely hard to do. You've got to find a doctor that will do it and can even find it for you. The folks at BioPure have spent millions of dollars and done the research to develop essentially a GH formula that is taken orally and not injected, which is also something appealing to me. So what am I talking about? People are like, what is he even talking about? What it does when you're taking this substance, it helps your recovery, it helps your rest, it helps your metabolism of what you put in your body, all the things that let you be an athlete. So what I'll tell everybody with supplements to first start off, first of all, what really makes you healthy is real food, rest, training, right? And then you start talking supplements. I'm very picky about what goes in my body, so I was offered to try the BioPure, and I was sent all the science. Before I put a vial in me, I read everything on it, and I reached out to a couple people using it. And guys I know from the special operations community were swearing by it. So I took it, and I noticed my recovery. I noticed my sleep changed. So I was kind of hooked. I reached out to them, and I'm like, I want to know more information on this, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, they were looking at me on social media. They have a bunch of ambassadors that are in their 40s and 50s. They didn't have anybody my age or my athleticism. And they're like, how'd you like to become an ambassador for us? And I won't rep anybody where I don't believe in the product and don't use it. So I agreed to it. I've been on it now for, I want to say 9 months. It's a game changer. And here's the other thing that I've noticed. I'm not on any kind of competition diet. I mean, I eat. I noticed it keeps me a lot leaner too. And I believe that's through the metabolic process and through the effective rest. My body is optimized. They have 2 formulas. They have an AM and a PM formula. Some people only do the AM. I do the PM as well because I'm very concerned about my rest. But I mean, you can go on Instagram. You'll see BioPure PM. You can go on my Instagram, Viking Till Valhalla, and you'll see me always talking about it. But I think that it's expensive to some people, but if you break down the daily cost, like if you do the AM and PM formula with all the specials they run and everything, you can get, I want to say it'll come right in about $300 a month. Sounds like a lot. That's $10 a day, right? Let me just tell you this. If you buy 1 energy drink and 1 Starbucks coffee a day, there's your $10. And this is about 50 times more effective on your overall fitness and rest and everything.
It's all about who the consumer priority.
It is.
You know, it's like, that's expensive, bro. You're about to go out and go spend $60 tonight drinking.
Yeah, you're going to go to McDonald's and eat something that is going to put you backwards, and it's going to cost I don't know. I haven't eaten McDonald's in 40 years, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So it's one of those things where you get what you pay for. I can tell you that if you're walking into a GNC or, the PX and you're buying supplements off the shelf without doing any research, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah, I'm a client too because of you. So you do BioProtect. I do AM. You put the vial. You pour the vial under your tongue for 90 seconds.
Yep.
Isn't the best tasting, but you let it in, and you drink it, and then you wait 10 minutes before you consume anything. And remember, I was messaging you. I said, I feel like I have more energy throughout the day. And since I'm retired and bored as fuck, I gotta think of something to do here, man. Let me start picking up some home projects and stuff. It makes me feel good. I don't take the PM just because I sleep like a baby anyway. My wife can't stand it. We argue over what we're watching. I'm gonna sleep in 5 minutes anyway. So I sleep like awesome. A baby.
I love it, man.
Yeah, man. So and if whoever's interested in the BioProtect, discount code Bruno30.
That's right.
That's right, baby.
Bruno30. I'll say something about it too, just while we're talking about it. It's one of those things too where you take stuff and you think, am I getting anything out of this? You saw it. You and I have talked about it. Like, I noticed. I was like, okay, I am noticing sleep and recovery. And then I noticed all of a sudden that my performance was a little better, a little stronger. And then I noticed the leanness. Those are 4 things right there that I wasn't getting. So to me, it's one of those, and they call me up and it's kind of funny because they'll be like, hey, Bruno, can we get some more content from you? People love the older guy doing stuff. So I'm sure if you're on social media.
And let me just take this too, okay? Because my father was in good shape too. And I'm letting you know because, we noticed the old guy. Me personally, And my father said it too. When you're at the gym, oh man, I wish I looked like you at your age, motherfucker. You wish you looked like him now.
That's right.
Or what? At his prime. No, not at his age.
Yeah.
At your age, bitch.
Dude, I get this.
You know what I'm saying?
I get this weekly, and it freaking makes my day. I had a guy come up to me a couple days ago, and I was doing deadlifts, and his comment to me, and I didn't know the guy. He's like, "Hey man, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, hey, have a good day, whatever." And he's like, "Hey, when you get to be my age, you won't be able to lift that amount of weight." And I said, "Hey, bro, how old are you?" And he's like, 52. I'm like, "Yep, buddy, I'm going to be 61 in 5 weeks."
Man, yeah, he sounded real smart there.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's keep going here, man.
Yeah.
Why were you on the big weekend show with Joey Jones?
So I wasn't on the big weekend show. I was up at Fox Studios in New York, and we had dinner with Joey, and Joey is an amazing American. And we're going to actually get Joey to come down to the Sawmill, by the way.
Awesome.
And if you don't know Joey's story, real quick, double amputee, Marine, EOD guy, blown up overseas in Afghanistan. And he's on the big weekend show with Fox, and he is a great American. There's no act there. You meet that guy out of the studio and hang out with him, that's that man. He's incredible.
He just swore back in.
He swore back in, he re-enlisted.
Yeah, re-enlisted as probably reserves, probably.
Yeah, it's reserved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm telling you, what a flag-waving American, what a great Marine. But no, so we went up there. There was a bunch of us involved in a special that's going to be coming out. The anniversary of Extortion 17 is coming up August 6th, and Fox is doing a big thing on it. So I was on camera with them for that.
Awesome. Yeah, he seemed like a pretty cool dude. I see him. I watch the Five sometimes, and he's on there sometimes too.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I did not know him before that, and one of my buddies, Mike Sorelli, was like, "Hey, we're gonna meet Joey," and I'm like, "Cool. I've heard he's a great guy." So friggin' humble. You know, sometimes you meet these people that are, famous, whatever. This dude is so down to earth, so fun, and him and I talk all the time now. And it's kind of funny because he'll post something on Instagram, and I'll send him a message, and same with back and forth. But he's just there's no fake. That's the guy you see that's the man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Of all the guns you've known and all the history of guns, what gun, maybe you already have it, but what gun do you wish you had if you don't have it yet? What's your favorite gun of all time?
So it's funny. I literally got asked that question on another podcast. If you know me, I have a lot of guns. I've been collecting since I was very young. I inherited my dad's collection. I own it. I absolutely own it right now. I'm a big AR shooter. I love the AR platform. The owner of Sons of Liberty Gunwork and the team there has built by far the best AR ever made. So it's my Sons of Liberty Gunwork Mark 1. And I've got two, well, I've got a bunch more than that, but I have two configurations. We have one that is a short barrel rifle for close quarter battle, and then I have one that I call the recce gun that they built just for me. It's Cerakoted Jungle Tiger, which I've got a lot of history with, and it's just built out, Night Force optic, Hux Force suppressor. The thing's a tack driver. The way it is set up, I could shoot somebody in the front lawn, or I could shoot somebody out at 800 yards with it, no problem. So, Sons of Liberty Gunwork Mark 1 AR platform. They just won the SOCOM contract, so the special mission units in the military are shooting it now. I can't tell you how many SWAT teams. Matter of fact, going back to our national SWAT competition, first and second place team, 5 operators each, are all getting one.
Wow!
10 of them.
Great, that's awesome, man.
Yes,
Shit.
sir.
Let me tell you my gun.
Okay.
All right, because I'm a fucking weirdo, man. I love the Predator. The Predator's my dude, and I love pirates. And so, in Predator 2, when that Predator handed Danny Glover that pirate gun, I just always wish I would have a pirate gun, man. 'Cause even in Lord of the Omen, I was they did some kind of project. I was Blackbeard. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to own like a pirate gun, man. I just love to own a pirate gun, man. I think that would be cool. Something different and authentic. That'd be cool, man. That's a pirate gun would be my thing.
Gotcha.
Just because,
I tell you, the one right behind that though is any 1911 pistol. John Brown designed the best pistol made. It's so funny. You had this cultural thing where everybody went to Glocks and synthetic guns and all that, and now guess what's back in full fashion? Now it's the 2011s. It's the full frame, 1911. Everybody staccato, Kimber, Air Sig. Everybody's making them now, and they are pure shooters. And everybody winning competitions shooting them. So that's my number 2.
Okay. Now, are you ready for the Santos signature questions?
Sure.
Okay. Do you think you've ever witnessed paranormal activity? You think you ever seen a ghost?
I don't think I've ever seen a ghost.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think you ever witnessed or seen a UFO or alien?
No.
Damn, Bruno. Well, shit.
I don't think I have. I tell you what, though. It's a running joke with me. People that know, nobody ever remembers all of them. They say a cat has 9 lives. Everybody knows the story of Bruno having 11 lives. There are 11 times in my military career where I should have been dead.
Damn.
I'm talking direct strike by an RPG into a helicopter and the warhead didn't go off. I'm talking a complete malfunction on a 500-foot static line jump and went to a reserve at about 100 feet for it to open. I've had 11 of these near-death experiences where I've survived. And I've always asked the why. Why am I still here? And I don't think I've found that yet. But that, as far as spiritual and things like that, that's the one I always resort to.
Well, you're an American hero, and I think I do all kinds of different stuff, and I have too much time on mine, so I think about a lot of things. Okay, so like I mentioned before about Call of Duty, and I stopped playing it because it's 250 years anniversary. You would think Call of Duty would put some American heroes in there for the gamers to be, instead of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Beavis and Butthead or Nicolas Cage or Seth Rogen shooting SMGs as snipers and RPGs, throwing flashbangs. Real American heroes like you should be in the. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe they do it for veterans, a special edition. They should put people like you on there. Like another good friend of mine, Navy SEAL Pat Taz, owner of Summer Brave Design. Don Morasso, owner of Dynamis Alliance and Crush Everything. Genghis Khan, my buddy Genghis Khan, owner of My Kai Metalworks. Survivor, USS Co-Survivor. Yes. My buddy Nelson LeBron, the tyrant Nelson LeBron, Those, and me, I'm the Coast Guard too, damn it. But I'm just saying, put American heroes, real American heroes in there, not some cartoon characters. That's why people are starting to go away. I want to see real shit, and gamers want to see real American heroes on there. So I'd rather be this. Let me be this dude instead of a fucking Leonardo. You know what I'm saying?
I saw something the other day. I don't know if you follow Jimmy Queen, but he said something pretty interesting. He's like, why was there so much Americana only on the 250th and the 4th of July? Why is it not every day? Why are we not this proud to be Americans every day? And he's got something there. If you think about it, if you are not well traveled, if you haven't left this country, you probably don't appreciate it.
They don't.
But if you've left this country and you've been around the world, then you really appreciate what America has. It's amazing here, the freedom and the people that provide it. But if you are one of these freaking millennial kids that's spoiled and don't understand because, your mom and dad didn't instill the right values in you, and you just want everything to be free and a handout and things like that, you never will appreciate it, that what this country provides. But if you're raised with values and you understand that it takes people to provide what we have, and those people are far beyond the military. The military keeps our borders safe, but what keeps this place ticking? Law enforcement, firefighters, medics, fucking 911 operators, emergency room staff. Remove all that. See where we're at. Do you remember when defund the police was a big thing?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Okay, what does every bad guy do when he has a problem? He calls 911.
Yeah.
Right? You don't call a crackhead. It's one of those things where without police, you have chaos. They have a job they have to do. They have to enforce. I hate getting a traffic ticket too. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the everyday, the people that are not good human beings, somebody's got to be there. Or you're going to be like these countries that we have visited, and there's chaos, and then freedom erodes with it. So That's my big thing.
During the World Cup, as of right now, it's big on social media how people from different countries come in here and are surprised. Oh my God, this place is great. Food's great. People are cool. And I was talking to my wife about it. And I was like, because in these other countries, like when I was in Spain, they only have one news network and it's leans to the left. So they only have one type of view of the United States of America. Once they come here and they see shit, oh, that news that we're always watching every day isn't really what was going on here. Because like when I was in Spain, they have basically 3 channels that everyone watches. Either there's some type of soccer, there's news, and some intense dramatic soap opera. But Spanish, there's some good Spanish soap operas out there. But there's always that's what you see is like, because when we're out there, people were talking about, they were always asking us about the politics. And my dad's like, that's not true. What they're saying is not true right now. That's not what's going on.
So I'll take it a step further. What about our media here? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Our media is so slewed. Even the good media is slewed. This is funny. My former wife and I, when COVID first hit and the insanity started, I think everybody went through different phases in COVID, right? I think everybody went through their fitness, whiskey, whatever phase. But the first phase we went to was shutting the news and TV off because we realized how much garbage and propaganda was being put our way. And then I started paying attention. They would report on events that I was physically at or knew something about, and it was totally skewed to what they wanted it to look like. You can go every single day in this country and turn the TV on and hear about bad guys with guns. How many times do you turn the TV on and it's public knowledge where you hear about how many bad guys were stopped with guns by citizens and law enforcement? But everybody wants guns to be evil. And it's like that with everything. So I turned the media off. I could only imagine what a fucking clown show our country looks like if the only optic you have is ABC News and how about MSNBC? Why would you even think this is the land of the free? But the cool thing is so many people have come to this country, been educated in this country, and gone back to theirs, that I think in most countries now they know what America's really about. Same thing I talk about with traveling to other countries. I go overseas, and Egypt is an example I'll give you. I took somebody who wanted to see the pyramids, and we were over there, so I'm like, let's go. The second they saw we were Americans, we had a fan club, okay? But nobody wants you to believe that. Everybody wants you to believe that everybody hates us out there. It ain't that way. There are countries that I will tell you that I don't go in because of my tattoo sleeves and my look. I don't go in without anything but long sleeves because I know I'm a target. But they're very few. They're very few. So the media to me is one of the biggest issues we have right now with public opinion. You see these rage teenage events that are going on. I think there was just one out in California.
Yeah, Huntington Beach, a teenage takeover.
Yeah. I mean, okay, that is showcased on every media outlet. Everybody's seeing it and all that kind of stuff. What about the 899 other cities that didn't have that shit? You know what I mean? I got it. You had an isolated incident. Who's to blame on that incident?
Parents.
Yep. You got to look in the mirror. Who had to control it? Who had to eat the shit sandwich? The law enforcement. And then they're under the microscope. What do we see on every news media? We see the 4 seconds of police body cam where they're the aggressor. We don't see the 37 minutes of buildup of them getting their face spit in, being called this and that, maybe being swung on, before the guy or gal pulls out a taser or puts them to the ground. You only see that piece right there.
Yep.
So it's so jaded.
The hypocrisy, the New York City mayor, keep your thermostat at 78. I'm pretty well sure that Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce wedding at the Madison Square Garden, I'm pretty sure that thermostat wasn't set at 78. And who was around that? They had identification to come in. They had a border. They had law enforcement enforcing all the rules and laws around Madison Square Garden for the elite safety.
That's right.
Come on, man. I mean, it's just like... Whew.
Yeah, and you look at, COVID and what's being done in New York right now, It's like the social experiments. What can we get away with? What can we do to control our own population and things like that? New York City could be the greatest city on earth, but it won't be with that type of leadership. It'll be a fucking joke. And now you see, unfortunately, Florida and Texas and all Arizona and Montana, all these other states are getting all the people that are bailing out of California and New York and Washington State. Well, that's fine. But leave your fucking politics.
Don't turn this place into the place you came from.
That's right. When you leave New York because it's a shit show, leave New York.
Yeah, recognize why you're leaving.
That's right.
You know, and recognize where you're going and why.
That's right. My birth certificate, I'm born in New York City. Okay. The only time I go back to New York City is because I have something to do for work.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I was born in West Virginia.
Oh.
I like going to West Virginia. I look for the Mothman.
There you go.
I'm fucking crazy, man. I don't give a shit. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? We're good? Before we end the podcast?
No, I think we're good, man.
Pretty much covered a lot of shit, huh?
Yeah, we did, buddy.
Well, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you, Bruno. And all right, guys. I'll talk to y'all next time.